Imagine waking up one day and questioning everything you thought you knew. What if the beliefs you've held, the truths you've accepted, and the choices you've made were all based on assumptions? How would you navigate a world where nothing is certain and every idea is up for debate? This is the world of a philosopher. For centuries, philosophers have been the seekers of wisdom, the challengers of the status quo, and the architects of new ways of thinking. But thinking like a philosopher isn't reserved for the great minds of the past. It's a skill that anyone can cultivate. In this video, we're going to explore how you can start thinking like a philosopher, questioning the world around you, seeking deeper truths, and applying these insights to your daily life. Whether you're trying to make better decisions, understand complex issues, or simply live a more meaningful life, the philosophical mindset can be your greatest tool. Let's embark on this journey together as we unlock the secrets of philosophical thinking in just 15 minutes. At the heart of philosophical thinking lies a simple yet profound question. Why? Philosophers are relentless in their pursuit of understanding, always asking why things are the way they are and challenging the answers they receive. The first step in thinking like a philosopher is embracing critical thinking. Critical thinking is the ability to analyze ideas, arguments, and beliefs with a sharp and questioning mind. It's about digging beneath the surface and not accepting things at face value. In our fast-paced world where information comes at us from all directions, it's easy to accept things without questioning them. But philosophers remind us to slow down and think critically about what we're consuming. Is this true? What evidence supports this? What are the counter-arguments? Next, philosophers excel in questioning assumptions, those often unspoken beliefs that guide our thoughts and actions. By questioning these assumptions, we open ourselves up to new perspectives and possibilities. For instance, we might assume that success equals happiness. But is that really true? What defines success? What if we measure success in different ways? By challenging these assumptions, we begin to see the world with fresh eyes. Finally, philosophers rely heavily on logic and reasoning. Logic is the structure of sound thinking. It's about forming arguments that are coherent and consistent. Whether we realize it or not, we use logic every day when we make decisions, solve problems, or even have a simple conversation. Logical reasoning allows us to connect the dots, to see how different ideas relate to one another, and to arrive at conclusions that make sense. It's a powerful tool that philosophers have used for centuries to build and deconstruct arguments. Critical thinking, questioning assumptions, and using logic. These are the basics of philosophical thinking. They're not just academic exercises. They're practical tools that can help us navigate the complexities of life, make better decisions, and understand the world around us in a deeper, more meaningful way. Philosophers aren't just thinkers. They're also methodical explorers of ideas. Over centuries, they've developed specific methods and tools to sharpen their thinking and deepen their understanding. In this section, we'll dive into 3 of the most powerful tools in the philosopher's toolkit: the Socratic method, thought experiments, and dialectics. Let's start with the Socratic method, named after the ancient Greek philosopher Socrates. Imagine you're in a conversation where, instead of giving answers, the other person keeps asking you questions. These questions aren't random. They're carefully crafted to challenge your views and uncover deeper truths. The Socratic method involves asking a series of probing questions that force us to think critically and clarify our beliefs. It's a way of stripping down our assumptions, revealing contradictions, and guiding us toward a more refined understanding. Socrates believed that through this method, we could arrive at knowledge that's based on reason rather than mere opinion. Next up, let's explore thought experiments. Imagine you're trying to understand a complex idea, but instead of reading about it or discussing it, you create a scenario in your mind, a sort of mental laboratory where you can test out different possibilities. Thought experiments are powerful tools that allow us to explore the consequences of ideas without needing to rely on real-world data. By imagining what-if scenarios, philosophers can examine the implications of their theories, question moral dilemmas, and explore concepts like justice, free will, and the nature of reality. Finally, we come to dialectics, a method that's all about dialogue, but with a twist. Dialectical reasoning involves taking 2 opposing ideas and putting them into a constructive debate. The goal isn't to win the argument, but to synthesize the best elements of both sides to arrive at a more nuanced truth. One of the most famous examples of dialectics is the Hegelian dialectic, which involves three stages: the thesis, an initial idea; the antithesis, the opposing idea; and the synthesis, a new idea that reconciles the two. Through this process, we can move beyond black and white thinking and develop a more complex and comprehensive understanding of issues. These methods, asking probing questions with the Socratic method, imagining possibilities with thought experiments, and synthesizing ideas through dialectics, are more than just intellectual exercises. They're tools that can help us navigate the complexities of life, challenge our assumptions, and deepen our understanding of the world. Philosophy isn't just an abstract discipline for ivory towers. It's a way of thinking that can transform how we live our daily lives. By applying philosophical thinking to our everyday experiences, we can gain clarity, make better decisions, and find deeper meaning in the world around us. Let's explore how you can bring the wisdom of philosophy into your daily life. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to apply philosophical thinking is through self-reflection. Self-reflection is the practice of turning our attention inward, examining our thoughts, beliefs, and actions. It's about asking ourselves, why did I react that way? Or what values guided my decision? By regularly engaging in self-reflection, we can uncover our true motivations, challenge our assumptions, and align our actions with our values. This process helps us to grow, to understand ourselves better, and to live more authentically. Philosophical thinking also plays a crucial role in ethical decision-making. Every day we face choices that test our morals and principles. Should we take the higher-paying job or the one that aligns more with our values? Should we stand up for what we believe in, even if it's unpopular? By applying philosophical principles like utilitarianism, which focuses on the greatest good for the greatest number, or deontology, which emphasizes duty and principles, we can navigate these dilemmas more thoughtfully. Philosophy doesn't provide easy answers, but it offers frameworks that help us consider the broader implications of our choices. Another area where philosophical thinking can make a difference is in handling uncertainty. Life is full of ambiguity and complex situations where the answers aren't clear-cut. Philosophers are well-versed in navigating these gray areas, using logic and critical thinking to break down complex problems into manageable parts. When faced with uncertainty, philosophers encourage us to ask the right questions, consider different perspectives, and think through the consequences of each option. By doing so, we can approach life's challenges with a clearer mind and a greater sense of confidence. Whether it's through self-reflection, ethical decision-making, or handling uncertainty, philosophical thinking offers us tools to lead more thoughtful and intentional lives. It reminds us that every action, every choice, is an opportunity to practice wisdom and live in alignment with our deepest values. Throughout history, philosophers have been more than just thinkers. They've been pioneers of ideas, challengers of the status quo, and role models for how to live a thoughtful, examined life. Let's take a moment to explore how the wisdom of a few great philosophers can inspire us in our own lives. Socrates, the father of Western philosophy, taught us the importance of questioning everything. He believed that the unexamined life is not worth living and spent his days asking probing questions to uncover deeper truths. Socrates reminds us that curiosity and a willingness to challenge our own beliefs are keys to personal growth. René Descartes, often called the father of modern philosophy, introduced us to the power of doubt. In a time of great uncertainty, Descartes doubted everything he believed until he reached the one undeniable truth: his own existence. Descartes shows us that by embracing doubt, we can strip away illusions and build a foundation of true knowledge. Friedrich Nietzsche, the radical philosopher, challenged us to rise above the conventional morals and societal norms. He introduced the concept of the Übermensch, an individual who creates their own values and lives life authentically. Nietzsche inspires us to break free from conformity and to courageously pursue our own path. These philosophers and many others serve as role models, not because they had all the answers, but because they showed us how to ask the right questions. They remind us that living a philosophical life isn't about being perfect. It's about being thoughtful, reflective, and true to ourselves. So how will you embody the wisdom of the philosophers in your own life? Whether it's through questioning like Socrates, doubting like Descartes, or forging your own path like Nietzsche, the choice is yours. The journey of a philosopher is not just to think, but to live thoughtfully. We've traveled through the world of philosophical thinking, exploring its methods, tools, and the wisdom of great minds who have shaped the way we understand ourselves and the world around us. But the journey doesn't end here. Philosophy isn't just something to be studied, it's something to be lived. It's in the questions we ask, the decisions we make, and the way we reflect on our experiences. Whether you're navigating a difficult choice, seeking clarity in a complex situation, or simply wanting to understand the world a little better, the tools and methods of philosophical thinking are always within reach. Remember, thinking like a philosopher doesn't mean having all the answers. It means being open to the questions. It's about embracing the journey of discovery, allowing yourself to be curious and never shying away from the deep, challenging thoughts that lead to true understanding. As you go forward, take the time to reflect, question, and think critically about the world around you. Apply these philosophical principles to your everyday life, and watch as your perspective deepens, your decisions become more intentional, and your life more meaningful. So start your philosophical journey today. The world is full of ideas waiting to be explored, and the philosopher within you is ready to embark on that journey.